Look at these two people. On the left, a professional forcing a smile, grinding through another late night, telling himself happiness is just one promotion away. On the right, someone laughing with friends, fully present, completely at peace. Same planet, completely different lives. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Scientists studied the top 10% happiest people on Earth. What they found destroyed every assumption about what actually creates joy. These people don't block out negative emotions. They don't isolate themselves to grind harder. And they absolutely do not relax by doing nothing. Today, you're getting the 4 specific habits that separate them from everyone else and what actions you can take before this video ends. Let's go. Chapter 1. The Always Smiling Trap. You have a brutal day, a bad grade, a harsh comment from your boss, a relationship that's falling apart. What do? Most people immediately suppress it, force a smile, scroll Instagram, tell themselves to just think positive, and then feel guilty for not feeling happy enough. That guilt compounds the original stress. Now you feel twice as bad. This is called toxic positivity, and it is silently destroying your emotional resilience. Here's the metaphor that will make this click permanently. Imagine your emotions are the weather. Forcing yourself to be happy when you're sad is like standing outside in a downpour and screaming at the clouds to produce sunshine. It doesn't work. You still get completely soaked, and now your neighbors think you've lost your mind. Psychologists discovered something radical about the happiest people on Earth. They are not ecstatic all the time. They experience negative moods regularly, just like everyone else. The difference? They carry a good umbrella, a functional emotional system. When it rains, they don't fight it. They don't pretend the sky is blue. They open the umbrella, feel the sadness fully, and move through the storm. When the sun comes back, they're dry and ready. The unhappy person is still soaking wet, refusing to admit it ever rained. Neuroscience backs this completely. Labeling a negative emotion out loud, actually naming it, reduces activity in the amygdala, your brain's alarm system. The storm gets quieter the moment you acknowledge it exists. Here's your immediate action. The next time a negative emotion hits, don't suppress it. Say out loud, "It's raining right now, and that's okay." That single sentence opens the umbrella. You move through the storm faster. You bounce back stronger. Stop fig-hutting the weather. Learn to read it. So you stopped faking a smile. But you're still locking yourself in your room every weekend to grind for that promotion, thinking success will eventually bring joy. What are the happiest people doing instead? Chapter 2. The Lone Wolf Grind. Trap. Be honest. How many times have you canceled plans with someone you care about to work, study, or scroll through your phone alone? How many times have you told yourself, "I'll spend time with them once I'm successful, once I have my life together, once things calm down"? That sentence is a trap. And it's one of the most happiness-destroying beliefs a person can hold. Here's why. Think of your happiness like a smartphone battery. You can download every single app for a great life. A 6-figure salary, a perfect physique, a prestigious degree, a beautiful apartment. But if you never plug the phone into a charger, it doesn't matter how many apps you have. The screen goes black. The phone is dead. Other people are the charging cable. Longitudinal research on extremely happy individuals found that exceptional social relationships aren't a bonus feature of happiness. They are a necessary precondition. Every single person in the very happy group had strong, meaningful social connections. 0 of them were living as hermits. Not one. Even more remarkable, studies show that increasing your social well-being over time literally rewires your personality. You naturally become more outgoing, more disciplined, more emotionally stable. Connection isn't a reward for success. Connection is the fuel that makes success sustainable. The lone wolf grind doesn't produce happiness. It drains the battery while you're still trying to download apps. If you're finding this useful, hit subscribe right now. Every week, this channel breaks down the science of peak performance and well-being into habits you can actually use. Here's your immediate action. Pause this video right now. Literally pause it. Open your messages. Find someone you haven't spoken to in at least a month. Send them this exact message. "Hey, was just thinking of you. Hope you're doing great." That's it. 1 minute. 1 message. The charge starts immediately. Plug back in. Okay, relationships are the charger, but when the happiest people are finally alone, how do they actually rest? Because I can guarantee it's not 3 hours of mindlessly scrolling through a phone. Chapter 3. The Passive Couch Potato Trap. Picture this. You finish a long, hard day. Your brain is fried. You collapse on the couch and open your phone. 1 hour becomes 2. 2 becomes 3. You were supposed to feel recharged. Instead, you feel foggy, apathetic, and somehow more tired than before you sat down. Sound familiar? Here's what's happening inside your brain during passive scrolling. Your mind drifts to unfinished tasks, to social comparisons, to anxiety about tomorrow. The self-critical part of your brain runs completely unchecked. Passive consumption doesn't rest your mind. It gives your inner critic a megaphone. Now imagine a video game. Set it to super easy mode. You win every round without trying. Within 10 minutes, you're bored out of your mind. You put the controller down. Now, set it to impossible mode. You die in the first 5 seconds, every single time. You're frustrated and anxious. You put the controller down again. But set it right in the middle, just challenging enough that you have to focus, but not so hard that you feel hopeless. And something remarkable happens. You look up and 3 hours have passed. You forgot to eat, you forgot to check your phone. You were completely, utterly absorbed. Psychologists call this state flow. In flow, the self-worrying part of your prefrontal cortex literally goes quiet. Scientists call it transient hypofrontality. The inner critic shuts down. Time distorts. You feel completely alive. This is where the happiest people live in their free time. Not on the couch, not on the scroll. They are actively playing the Goldilocks game, finding tasks that sit right in the sweet spot between too easy and too hard. A musician practicing a slightly difficult chord progression. A chef trying a new technique. A runner pushing their pace by 30 seconds. Not dramatically harder, just slightly past the edge of comfort. Here's your immediate action. Pick one hobby or daily task for tomorrow. Make it exactly 4% harder than you normally do it. If you cook, chop your vegetables slightly faster. If you read, choose a book one level more complex. If you run, add 2 extra minutes. 4%. That's the trigger. That's the entry point into flow. Chase the game, not the couch. You're managing your emotions, charging up your social battery, and entering flow. But there's one final habit, completely counterintuitive, backed by powerful research, that can multiply everything else you just learned. And all it requires is a pen and a piece of paper. Chapter 4. The Fix Myself First Trap. Here's a belief most driven people hold, without realizing it. I'll be generous once I'm stable. I'll help others once I've solved my own problems. I'll donate, give back, and be kind once I've achieved happiness for myself first. Kindness feels like the trophy at the end of the race, something you earn the right to give once you've crossed your own finish line. Science says you have it completely backwards. Unhappy people spend their entire day staring into a mirror. Every thought circles back to their own flaws, their own stress, their own goals, their own failures. The mirror world is exhausting. The more you stare, the more imperfections you find. Happy people spend their day looking through a window. They see the world outside themselves. The colleague who's struggling. The stranger who needs a door held open. The friend who hasn't texted back because something is wrong. Looking through a window doesn't mean ignoring your own needs. It means your field of vision includes other people, and here's where the research becomes extraordinary. A landmark psychological study found that happy people naturally perform more acts of kindness than less happy people. That part most people expect. But here is the part that changes everything. The act of consciously counting your own kind acts creates an upward spiral. Tracking your kindness increases gratitude. Gratitude increases well-being. Increased well-being makes you naturally kinder, and the cycle accelerates. Kindness is not the finish line. It is the fuel. It doesn't wait until you're happy. It builds happiness from the inside out. Here's your immediate action. The 7-day kindness log. Tonight, put a piece of paper on your nightstand. Every night for the next 7 days, write down how many kind acts you performed that day. Not what they were, just the number. This single habit forces your brain to scan for moments of generosity throughout your day. Instead of the mirror, you automatically start looking through the window. Your subjective well-being increases measurably within the week. One piece of paper, 7 nights, a compounding upward spiral. Here's what you actually learned today. Let's bring this home. The world's happiest people are not happy because life gave them better circumstances. They are happy because they operate with a completely different set of daily habits. Habits that most people have never been taught. Habit 1. When negative emotions hit, open the umbrella. Label the feeling out loud without judgment. Stop fighting the weather. Move through the storm faster. Habit 2. Plug into the charger. Send the text. Prioritize real human connection over solo grinding. Your personality, discipline, and happiness literally rewire when you do. Habit 3. Play the Goldilocks game. Make one daily task 4% harder. Find flow. Let the inner critic go quiet. Feel fully alive. Habit 4. Switch from the mirror to the window. Track your kind acts every night for 7 days. Start the upward spiral today. 4 habits, 4 immediate actions, each one backed by rigorous science. Each one available to you right now, regardless of your circumstances, your income, or how your day went. The research is clear. Happiness is not a finish line. It is a daily practice built from small, consistent actions that most people overlook entirely. Now you know what those actions are. Which of these 4 traps do you find yourself stuck in most often? Drop your answer in the comments below, reading every single one. And if this gave you even one idea that shifts how you operate, subscribe right now. Every week, this channel delivers the science of well-being and peak performance, broken down into habits you can actually use. No fluff, no filler, just what works. See you in the next one.